What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, and we are playing some RimWorld. Getting back together with the Beastmen. Ben F. has been very active on the comments. Thank you, Ben. And answering some of the questions I had, such as regarding unwaveringly loyal. But it turns out there is a setting. I did some digging on that, and there is a game setting on that. You can turn it off if you want. So you can see by the end here, we are forming up a caravan and getting people on the road to get the hell out of this old base. And there they go. Finally, we bail. We move on. We're going to hit the high roads, smash some Empire bases, and do what we can to make our way to our final destination. As you can see, wealth is pretty crazy high, but that'll be changed because we're leaving. And that's that. Home base. I think we've left a fair amount of beastie goodness around. Didn't bother taking a lot of shit we could have took. We're trying to keep wealth down at the new location, and there they go. We're going to start trading straight away. Meanwhile, over at the new base, we have a whole lot of work to do on the security system over there. And there's our old original base. We're going to go ahead and abandon that and just be done with it. It will make wealth drop. We only have 14.6 days of food. Some of our animals are also going to be eating things we can't provide them, like meat. So, whatever. We'll figure it out. If we have to lose the animals along the way, that's fine. There's plenty of Empire bases to smash. If we can find a Dwarven one along the way, we'll smash that as well. But either way, they have a long road to walk. So, new base. We are making blocks, moving crap around. We're still in the middle of a bloody rainforest over there, but you can see this path is, I think it was 60-something days originally, so it's going to be 60-something days again. It's a whole bloody year of walking, and we're almost finished with the herdstone here. We need to finish that before we start smashing bases so we can get the gifts from the gods in the form of the Sarsen stones. And the ship, we're doing what we can to protect it. We'll build additional walls around that and set some turrets up around it as well to discourage skyfallers from showing up in there. But either way, man, this is going to take forever. I just like to get my grips around how long that trip is on the world map, and it's pretty bananas. So we're getting close to our first trade, as you can see. So over here, security's going to go in. We need housing. We need a double wall, this southern wall. We also had a monkey join. I guess we'll just let it do its thing because who cares? At some point, we'll probably end up having a slaughter. And we have plenty of power from the geothermal, the solar, and the ship itself. So that's just fine. A lot of crabby pawns over here. It's about time we started putting in some walkways. And given this terrain, it's a slow walk. So we also are going to put in a giant tent barracks. The wooden floor, it's not going to make anybody happier except for me, but it'll be better to look at than a bunch of beds or whatever strewn around anywhere. So mental breaks nonstop. Not a lot we can do about it. So we finally make it to our first trading partner. I'm going to try to focus on buying food as we need to. And we're 18.1 days away from our first victim, I believe. Yeah, it's quite a haul, but we will get there. Yeah, that is a hell of a long walk. I'm debating on smashing those beastmen down there. We're going to need food before we get over there. But if we have to, we'll just stop and attack somebody else and do what we need to do. We can also do some trading along the way yet, too. We still have a fair amount of things to get rid of for cash or turn that into food. Need to trade with the tribals as they typically have pemmican, so there's just crap everywhere, and there's just gonna be crap everywhere for a while until we get some proper stuff built. This is part of the issue with the moods. There you go. Look at what the wealth did when we left that base. That's phenomenal. I like seeing that. The ship's got some wealth too, so it's at 210,000. So we lost 330,000 wealth just by leaving that map. I don't know if it's counting all the pawns that are on the caravan. Probably not, but Oh well, there's plenty of Beastmen around. I'm hesitant to smash additional Beastmen because I really don't want this herd to get any bigger. I'm sure we're going to lose some people along the way, but I don't know. We could always just do it and then, I don't know, slaughter the new people or whatever. It's time to move into our new barracks. Fortunately, we picked up a fair amount of air conditioners along the way here, so we don't have to build that kind of thing. But there's a lot of beds to move, and we have some room for expansion. Could put another row of beds right down the middle of this thing. I don't know if I'll do that or if we'll make a secondary barracks. You can see what we have already. That giant room is going to be almost completely filled just by the pawns that are already at this location. That's a bit of a problem. Housing everybody, and hopefully we don't run into food issues. I'm going to try to get plants going sufficient that if the animal population dries up, we have plenty around. So Death Shoulder decides to snap and destroy. No, that's not true. I made him destroy those things. Sorry. There was no way to interact with those in terms of deconstruction or moving them. I'm not really sure why, so to hell with it. We just smashed them to bits, and they're going to try and rebuild them, so I do have to cancel that at some point here. I have no idea why it wouldn't let me deconstruct those things. But anyways, we have so many pawns. This might be one of the largest colonies I've ever had, so they do enjoy the new eating area. I found some chairs in the cave. We can drag those in and get them repaired. There's a visitor for whatever it's worth. Maybe we can get some trades going. Might expand this room a little bit later, but for now, I think it's just fine. And finally, we get done with this herdstone situation because, oh yeah, it's an ogre. Very nice. There is a Warhammer name generator. So you see all the names, not the Beastmen, that was before I found it, but all the new mods I'm working on. Name generator's the way to go. So we do a little bit of trading with that guy. Just buy some things that are going to be useful and sell some crap we don't need. So the herdstone automatically upgrades, gives you the destruction quest, and it upgrades because it was upgraded before at our previous base. It didn't fully upgrade, but whatever. We'll get there. And a wanderer joins, slug pelt, because we built the herdstone. If you don't have a brace shaman and you build a herdstone, you'll automatically get a brace shaman because one is required to operate the herdstone in terms of making offerings and those types of things. Not the best pawn. He is lower in Nurgle, but he does have some health issues. We can get those cured up at some point here. He's also extremely old at 73, probably the oldest beastman on the planet, would be my guess. And the new eaten room turned out nice, so I'm sure they're happy about that. Eventually we'll slaughter all the animals we have around here as well. Of course, the thunderstorms and the lightning continue to plague us. Constant RimWorld issues, just running around fighting fires, literally, as opposed to the usual figuratively. Anyway, we're trying to clear out some space here. We're going to have to put a hospital and a kill box. Get a whole lot of stuff to build here. And not a whole lot of time to do it. Actually, we have 60-something days. So hopefully by the time the other guys show up, we're all ready to go. I'm going to do a bunch of mining on steel. I would like to have a nice, large stockpile of that by the time we're ready to start building turrets. We are going to slaughter all the animals at this point. Doesn't make sense to keep them around. I'm going to put a caravan packing spot inside for whatever it's worth. Should we decide to do a caravan, that'll be useful. We do have all of our pawns running away from an ancient chaos spawn that was hunting some of us. But it doesn't take too much, and down he goes. This much firepower coming at him. We don't have to be worried about that as long as we're in a group. So these guys, it's saying they're out of food, but everybody's eaten, and we do have food, so I'm sure it's just some of the critters having problems. I know the harpy has to rely on meat. There's a lot of fires raging around. Thanks to that stupid thunderstorm situation. It is raining at least, though, so... And additional fires continue to plague us. They'll get it all sorted out. One of our guys got hit by lightning and ended up on fire, which is Pretty crappy luck for that, dude. Dark gods are always picking on each other, and the herdstone almost gets struck there by lightning. So we do have some trading partners 1 day away from our current location, so we're going to do what we can to make it over there. And Victor doesn't have food. And again, I know that Harpy's going to run out of food too, so I'm sure at some point we'll be cutting those guys loose. Hopefully we can send them in, start using them to get killed by our enemies, and thus taking distractionary shots away from our main pawns. That would be kind of nice. And I'm going to build a butcher room somewhere we can put animals and just let them lay. If we refrigerate this room, it should stay nice and frozen. We shouldn't have any issues with the animals that we bring in for butchering rotting. We'll make that close to where we're storing food. We did get some packaged survival meals falling out of the sky, along with some extra steel. Still have a forge outside. We'll worry about workrooms much later on. And we have our traps ready to go in at this point. We're going to do that out of steel. That's another reason I'm collecting a ton of steel. I do want to double wall this. We need to make this area as strong and secure as possible. And we do have the blocks to make that happen. There's no more granite around. So once this granite's gone, we'll have to switch to something else, but we should get a good chunk of things done. We do make it to the next trading partner. We have some Drogas we can get rid of. Warpstone powder, wake juice. I'm going to buy some meds. It wouldn't hurt to have more of that. And food. Black corn is dirt cheap. Most likely is going to cause sickness, food poisoning. But that's okay. We don't really care. These guys are immune to food poisoning. So we're 10.2 days away. The first Empire base that we're going to smash. Might have to let the Jabber go, but he does seem to... See, it's Victor that doesn't have food. We're just going to cut Victor the dog loose. Someone's not going to be happy about that, but oh well. There you go. On your own, Victor. Go off and hunt somewhere. Find some food, little buddy. I'm going to expand this room here. It's... We did buy a TV at some point, so I'd like to make a TV space in there and just give them some additional forms of recreation as well as some extra happiness. We can do some offerings. We do have an ancient chaos spawn only, though. We're not going to offer that up to the dark gods. There's still some tainted apparel sitting around. I made everybody take off the tainted apparel. So there's all of our turrets going in. It's going to be a pretty massive undertaking in terms of resources. But I think it'll be worth it. You do something like this, and then you get nothing but Skyfallers attacking you. We are going to need a switch, and if you build a switch, you do have to keep it out of the rain, or you will get constant short circuits. So I'm going to just put a little bit of roof up so that we can... Or so you need some walls so we can get some roof up, just to prevent that issue. And we'll run the power through the back of the walls, which should be just fine. And we have 1,499 steel at the moment, but there's tons of it around. I feel like this construction stuff isn't happening nearly as fast as I would like it to. So there's our TV. We're going to build some nice soft chairs to sit and watch. Should keep some people occupied and happy. Moods seem to be stable. There are critters on our traps. And I'm going to build some walls in here. We're going to dump the tainted apparel back in there, and then... when we get infested, which we will periodically, if we have all stone doors and stone walls there, we can start a fire back in there and hopefully burn the Skaven out when they do decide to show up. Should work decently well. Probably I don't need to make my zone as large as that, but whatever. Once we get a couple raids here, we will certainly be in a position to fill that area up. And there's all the turrets. That's got some pretty mighty coverage there. So now we need to get going on more walls. I'll probably have to build some more power. I do want to put turrets all around. Again, those deter Skyfallers. You even put them inside some of your rooms, and you won't get those kinds of issues. So, and if you do, they get distracted while you pepper them with bullets and whatnot. So, I'm going to double wall that area to the south. We did end up getting a bad case of malaria. We need to build a hospital. I was just hoping to get the security completed before doing much else. If we get a mighty raid, it's gonna be a major problem for us. So There's some warp stone in there. I think we'll mine that for money because we can sell it. There's also some components back here that you can mine out. We have 146, but at some point we're going to be rebuilding a lot of those turrets when we fire up the endgame events. So it's going to be worthwhile to have a ton of that on hand. Rough Shoulder has decided to have a tantrum. It's going to destroy 32 components, and it looks like it's about too late to do anything about it. I guess we'll try one hit, give him the whip, knock him. Nope, too late. So, damn it, stop hitting him now. Wait, that did some mighty damage. One more hit, he probably would have died. Ouch. Well, we're down 32 components now. So there you go. Rhinoceros self-tamed. That guy will do a nice slaughter on. I don't think we want any rhinos around, unless they're not very trainable. And this room turned out dull, but it's a big mess, so I think we need to do a fair amount of cleaning in there. And oh yeah, there's your problem right there too. I might not have enough cleaning ponds set at the moment. We need to expand our cleaning zones. See if we can get those things to stay nice and tidy. And we're almost to our next trade partner. I'm going to clear all the plants here, and then we're going to put a ton of floors in. I think we'll just do bone, assuming we can come up with enough. I'm going to do barricades as well in front of these turrets. They don't benefit from cover, so the game will tell you, but a lot of shots will end up hitting the barricades instead of the turrets, which is good. So, orbital trade beacon seems important. We're going to shrink up the area that we're storing crap and then put in a beacon. I might have to leave one of those roof or wall tiles in there so we can support that ceiling. So our next trading partner here, I mean, we don't have a lot, but we're going to buy meds, we're going to buy food, and we're going to move on. So there's another one 2.6 days away, even though we only have half a day of food. Oh, we'll see how that goes. And there's a trader to deal with as well. All right, so our chaos spawn took out a cassowary, which is fine. You can see we're going to have a little room behind, and then we'll have barricades in front. Probably we'll throw some roof up, as apparently you get better cover if you're under a roof. We're going to do some limestone walls in the south. Oops. Looks like I did block my door with that, but we can just shift that thing out of the way. I need to get some plant cutting. There's from the trader that was visiting right there, the stuff we bought. More components. Again, that's something that's worthwhile to stockpile. High psychic drone male, and whatever. We have plenty of food. I'm not going to worry about who's eating and who's not. I just don't like seeing that 0 days of food thing. Anyway, there's slug pellet riding around on riding around on an ancient chaos spawn. We did get some chaos, or sorry, some queen bees. They have some meds to sell and some components. We don't really need that honey, probably. Let's get rid of what we can, take all their cash. So yeah, more meds. These guys would be wise to get the hell out of here. I think if I showed up and it was just a bunch of beastmen, you'd be like, meh. Probably that's not such a safe bet, right? Let's get out of there. A couple more soft chairs are going to go in, and we meet another caravan with which we can trade. They do have a bunch of meals, so we'll just buy them all. It's $1,000, and it barely gets us a day's food, which is kind of bananas, but we don't really need the money for anything else anyways, so why not? These guys have their weapons ready. Probably a good idea if they're going to be hanging out. And we end up running into another caravan. This is an Empire recruit caravan, but for some reason there's no recruits. I don't understand why that would be, but whatever. We have 4 reinforced barrels. We will get some mortars made up when we get to our end destination. I should have made my first round of guys take those. So we're about 6 days away from where we need to be for the first attack on the Empire people. And the floors are going in. That is a rather significant event. Man, that's a slow walk. Look at that. So, yeah. Anyways, we're getting close to the end here. So please leave me a comment. Get yourself worked into an episode. Leave me a like. I do read them all. I do respond. Keep checking this food thing, and I mean, the black corn has barely been eaten. I don't think they've eaten any of it, so I'm not going to worry yet. Make sure everybody's set to fine. Yeah, see, everything's allowed under fine, so there you go. Except slug pelt. There we go. Either way, yeah, leave me a like, leave me a comment. Our wealth is creeping up again. It's items and buildings. Also, we're doing a lot of mining of resources, but we found some gold there we mined out as well. So, whatever. Next time we get a space trader, it's on. Thanks again. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.